Get in! Arsenal have been silenced to a 2-2 draw with the Aston Villa army. It finishes Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 2, and Villa have secured a point away from home against an Arsenal team that are absolutely desperate to win the league. We've ultimately come there, overcame a 2-0 deficit and managed to leave with a point. It would have been nicer with 3, but we'll take a point, won't we? Now, let's not mince words here. It wasn't exactly the best performance from Aston Villa to produce. It wasn't exactly high calibre. And in fairness, that first half, even though we gave them a good go once we grew into the game, it wasn't ultimately to be as they would go and score through Gabriel Martinelli. A bit of an unlucky goal there. But obviously, it would show how weak we are on the left-hand side. Even though Ian Maatson deserves to have the game time, it kind of does show why tonight we should have been perhaps playing Digne instead. If he's your on form or your best left-back / defensive lineup, go with your best as much as you can, because that way, against teams like this is how we're going to secure points. But obviously, Villa unfortunately conceded the goal there, and you're just thinking it's just going to be one of them typical away days, isn't it? We're just not going to turn up. Onana going off as well. That's another injury to our midfield. It's a little bit worrying, isn't it, on that side of things? But we come out in the second half, you're thinking Villa are going to overturn it, and unfortunately not. A Kai Havertz goal there to make it 2-0 away from home. It really does lower the spirits, and you're sitting there thinking, how are Villa going to get back into this? We haven't particularly looked like we've been able to put away our chances. And then within the space of 10 minutes from it, Yuri Tielemans with a lovely little finish, a lovely little header into the bottom corner to really secure the goal there. Nice bit of work there as well from Luca Dean. Obviously, that shows why players like him should be starting, because that's the quality you get when we need it most, when we're down away from home. When you reserve and put yourself in, that's who you're going to get back from it. And then minutes later, Ollie Watkins with the tap-in as well. Nice little finish there. For all the missed chances that he's had in the game, he's able to put that away, and it makes it 2-2. A lovely bit of work there from Matty Cash, who maybe lackadaisical on the defensive side. He can definitely make up for it going forward. With, of course, on a weaker foot, that was surprisingly decent, to be fair. But it all comes from Ollie Watkins, isn't it? Pushing away and beating off his man. Not beating off his man, don't say that. Beating his man, Thomas Partey, to get that tap in over Raya. And you're thinking, that's 2-2, we can go on and win the game now, we've got the momentum. And I think ultimately, in some ways, it kind of killed Arsenal off. Yes, they had the goal to make it 3-2, but it was ultimately disallowed. Thank the Lord to Aston Villa. But, you know, it kind of did kill them off. The spirits were gone. Mentally, they were dropped. And even though they still had 20 minutes in the game to get back, ultimately, they never achieved it. And now it's two tales of two stories. You've got an Arsenal team that were 2-0 up and have managed to throw away the lead, and perhaps a real good chance at being title contenders this season, to an Aston Villa team with a really resilient point to come back fighting, to come back and show that level of spirit, what is needed in these games. That's the type of result that you need Villa to do. Pull it out. If you're not going to win, do not lose the game. We've ultimately gone and done that. We've gotten a point away from home against an Arsenal team that are, let's face it, much better in quality than us. They've got a better squad than us. But we still did it. We still managed to pull it out, get the point, and it couldn't be sweeter, could it? Bear in mind, in these run of games that we've been having, you know, we're still stepping up. Okay, again, you know, we haven't won today, but even still, we're still drawn. You know, we've managed to put away Everton the other day, and managed to get 3 points away from home again there. Seen off West Ham, you know, and we've then got one more, in my mind, tough set of game. We've got Monaco away from home. If we can go and get something there, you know, seriously, is this finally going to be the rebound that we've been looking for? We're getting signings in. Obviously, it would have been nice to see Malin come on today and play a little bit of a part, but you can understand it given that the injuries have been adding up in the midfield. But I imagine we'll hopefully see him in the Champions League game. Hopefully as well by then we'll at least have some cool concrete news on Loic Bardet, and also the new right back that we'll be signing as well. I can't remember its name, so I do apologise about that. However, it is still a dominant point for Aston Villa. It is still a massive point for Aston Villa in this race for top 6, and it is one that we've got to enjoy as we can do indeed. If I have to go with a man of the match today, I've only really particularly watched 45 minutes, but given what has been achieved tonight, I'm going to go with Tyrone Mings. I just think defensively he looked really solid tonight. You could also say Boubacar Kamara again, just controlling that midfield. You know what, even though it's not the option I would have gone for, I didn't think Bogard had too bad of a game when he came on. Really energetic, young, vibrant pace to go against an Arsenal team that just want to push and press you. But I think we did really well in that aspect. And again, we haven't dominated the game. We haven't had a great performance exactly, but we've come away without a loss, and we've come away with a point that will hopefully be massive in Aston Villa's season. So let us know in the comments down below what you thought. Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 2. We get a secure draw. We move on to Monaco away from home, and then it's West Ham away next week. But without further ado, I've been Ben, up the Villa with the pride of Villa. We'll see you later, boys.